Let's make some temporary tattoos with our silhouette. Hi, my name is Kelsey and welcome back to my craft room. If you're new here, I also call myself Dinosaur Mama, and today we are focusing on our silhouette portrait. Now I do have to say, as a disclaimer, I did test out this metallic tattoo paper with my Cricut, so I will have the settings for that down below in the description if you do have a Cricut, because I figured this kind of paper, this tattoo paper, will work in either machine. So I might as well give you settings for both. This paper kind of works like a vinyl, but you use it as a temporary tattoo on your skin. And I have to say I was really impressed with the way that it turned out and actually stuck to your skin. With that being said, I also ordered the printable tattoo paper by Silhouette, which will be coming this week. These come in packs of 2, so there's a gold, and it has 2 sheets, and silver, and then they also have the printable version, and I can't wait to try it. So let's jump over into Silhouette Studio. I'm so used to saying Cricut Design Space. Let's jump over into Silhouette Studio and design some of our temporary tattoos. So I started by adding in some SVGs that I have made for a wedding, and I changed the color of all of them to a gold because I'm going to use that gold tattoo paper. If you need more basic Silhouette Studio training, please let me know. I will love to do some more basic videos on literally like how to upload an SVG, how to create SVGs in here. I love their program. It's super, super similar to Inkscape. So right now I have everything changed to a cut setting, but you'll see it's all the same way. And unlike Cricut Design Space, there's no like mirror option when you go to cut. You have to mirror before you send it to cutting. So I didn't really know how to like send everything over, so I'm still just changing my colors here. But you have to mirror it before. So you have to flip it basically. And so that's going to be over in your settings, and you don't want to just send it over and cut it this way where it's not mirrored, because if you don't mirror, what happens is when you go to apply the tattoo and you flip it over, it's backwards. How did I learn this? I learned this the hard way, because as I was going to apply it onto my own skin, I was like, this is going to be completely backwards. This is not correct. And I noticed it like as soon as I flipped over the tattoo. So luckily I caught it before I tattooed it onto my body. Not that it's like permanent and not a real tattoo, but still I was like, oh my God, this is wrong. So make sure you are mirroring everything. So to mirror again, you're just gonna flip. And so we're gonna go over to our settings and we are going to flip it. So here's me trying to find out where flip is, because yes, I'm new to this program as well, but I love the way that they have everything set up, because it's such a good design software. So you see I flipped it horizontally first, but I just right clicked and then I flipped vertically. No, other way around. I flipped vertically first and then I flipped horizontally. You know what I mean. So you want to flip it first. This is all going to be mirrored. So this is technically how you mirror. And then you're going to go to send. So now I have everything ready to go and ready to be sent over to the machine. So I'm going to put an arrow up. This is where you're going to change your material. And so their temporary tattoo paper, since it is their brand, is already in the settings. So you don't need to worry about changing anything. And this is just like a vinyl. I want to say though, it's like a reverse weeding vinyl, right? Because you're going to take off where the cover is. Like think of when you have a temporary tattoo and there's like this plastic cover over it. For these metallic ones, not for necessarily the printable ones, but for the metallic ones, you are going to be removing the plastic where all of the letters are. So I'm sending this over to my machine to cut. I'm doing auto blade for it, and I already have mine hooked up via Bluetooth. If you want to see the video on how to hook up your Silhouette to your computer via Bluetooth, I will link that video down below as well. And I didn't change any of my settings, and I went and I sent it over to the machine. So when you're weeding this, and you'll see it when we go over, you'll weed this all backwards than what you're traditionally weeding. So we're not weeding the excess, the excess around it. You're weeding where the actual words are, because when you go to put the tattoo on, you're going to wet that. And that is what's going to stick. And then all that extra around it is not going to stick because it has the plastic covering over it. And it'll make more sense once we actually have it in person. You need to keep in mind when you're making these tattoos, your biggest thing is that you are going to have to weed out every single thing. Because when I initially made it, I was like, oh, a QR code would be so cute, like if you're a bachelorette party. But you have to keep in mind that you have to weed out every single one of those little squares. So keep in mind when you're making these tattoos, if you're using the metallic version and you're cutting everything out, you have to weed all those little pieces. So the bigger the SVG is, the easier it's going to be for you to create. So because this was all one color, I only had to do one thing sent to my queue. So this was pretty easy to do. I didn't do silver and gold. I just did the gold and sent that over and allowed it to cut. And so now let's jump over. Let's jump over and just do some weeding, and then you'll see how to apply it. So first thing I'm going to say is that this original video is when I had not mirrored. So I didn't use these tattoos, but the concept is the same when it comes to weeding. So just give me some grace in that. I did end up remaking these completely. And so what you see here is the non-mirrored version. But I'm cutting out just like you would with any other vinyl. And it is like a thicker paper, like exactly how you would think of a tattoo if you got it like at a store, a temporary tattoo. So it is on that thicker back paper. And then it is pretty shiny. So I was impressed with it. And it's up to you how you want to cut these out. But because you need to weed them, they are kind of tacky once they are weeded. So you don't want to weed all of them and then like get it on the carpet or anything. But you're just going to use some tweezers, a weeding pen, and you're pulling off everything where your words are, where your picture is. It does weed pretty easily, but remember mine are kind of thin, so it did take me a little bit of time just to weed everything out. I'm sure there's a way that you could use like tape or something like that, but just keep in mind if you have letters like E or A or P that have something in the center, you're not going to want to weed out that center of that letter, and so you have to be kind of gentle with it. And so here you can see this is the one that is mirrored. And I'm showing you that I removed all that center. You can kind of see it's like not as shiny once you remove that center. It kind of looks tacky. So it is going to be a little sticky, and it's a great way to make sure that you got all of the pieces out just by like running your finger over it and feeling that it is sticky. So now I am going to show you how to apply this. So you see there's all the gold still on it, but I weeded out where all my writing was. And here I am debating like where I want to put this. And so you press it on, and you grab a wet paper towel, or you can grab like a spray bottle, whatever you want to do, but you have to put a little bit of pressure on it. It did not take me long at all. Just make sure it's nice and wet, maybe like 10, 15 seconds of pressing. I feel like this is in real time, so it's not like I sped it up or anything. So I guess I don't even know. I guess we'll count after and see how long it took me. I was so nervous. I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to pull this off. It's not going to work. But it looked really good. And so you'll see now where the white is, that's where your weeding was. And look at how shiny that is. I think these are super, super cute for a bachelorette party or for like a kid's party. You can make like customized tattoos, or even like a wedding. I know that's like outrageous to do. Here's me trying to show you in the camera. But for a wedding, like to make these as a cool giveaway, I love the idea. Thank you so much for joining me today as we made some metallic temporary tattoos. Don't forget to give this a big thumbs up if it helped you. It helps me so much when you do that. Share it with one of your crafty friends, whether they have a silhouette or a Cricut. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to continue to see new tutorials every single week. Stay crafty.